touch me, I'll kill you.
Calm down.
Let her.
Calm
let
down.
her. Let her. Let her.
Calm down.
Let her. Let her.
Calm down.
Let her.
Hey.
Let her. No,
Piece
let
of
her.
trash.
Let her.
Hey.
Let her. No, let her. Call the police. Call.
Get a survey.
Call the police.
Hey.
I've already called the police.
Okay, let the police come out here.
Yeah,
Do
you're
it.
cop back
Do it.
there
Do
told
it.
you not to call.
Do it. Do it.
You go back out.
Do it.
The video that you saw was of Vicky New of the Indianapolis suburb Pike Township. This incident actually happened several years ago. And at first it might seem like a lot of the different Karen incidents that we cover. It's a woman who is getting in people's faces and destroying property and shouting things like, go back to Mexico, go back where you came from. There, she also said that she would kill the people that were there. And apparently this happened quite a bit. What makes this story distinct though, is that for this Karen, there were consequences and not just going viral. She is now being forced to pay $262,000 in total compensation for attorney fees, damage costs, all of that. Comes across a number of different categories, punitive and compensatory damages. That is a lot of money though.
I mean, I feel like half of those fees are just, paying for that haircut. Damn, girl, still. You realize that supercuts can do other things. They're not.
Hey, that's where I go.
I know that. That's why I said it. No, sometimes they get it right, and then when John decides to shave off his beard, that's not on you. That's not on you, supercuts.
You tied me in jail for life.
What? Oh,
my God.
yeah.
Donna, you're ridiculous.
He lied about his mom. You know what? You little. Are you recording me? Because you did not tell me you were recording me.
Go inside your house.
Oh no, you're being recorded.
Oh, why is that? Why is that?
You guys are
I can record you.
Anything. I'm on my property.
I know. I can
go
record
on
you.
Your property and cut my tree.
I can record you.
Well, take care of your property
You
then.
cannot. You cannot record me without telling me. Welcome to Oregon. Maybe you
No.
should go back to Philippines where you belong.
Oh, racist.
Oh, man.
Racist.
This is going online.
Oh.
If the racism did not exist inside of the heart and soul of these individuals, then those words would not have been uttered. And if you watch the full video, literally, after telling them to basically go back to their own country, which by the way, we had a president of the United States that said the very same thing about United States Congresswomen. After she said that racist statement, she also called them the N-word. And at the end of that, you can see them saying, you just wanted to say the N-word. That's all you really wanted. But it shows you what they think about people who are not like them. And not just not like them in race, but this is the kind of person who would call a white person who's down with black and brown people probably an N-word lover. Because you have that same systemic psychology exists today as it did during the 60s and 70s. And I'm really amazed, man. I have conversations with my dad a lot, who was a civil rights leader in his own right, and he fought those fights. And the parallels of what we see happening today, he never thought we would have this same type of racism publicly as we did back in the 60s.
Here's seriously, if not, I'm gonna have to start slamming on. I'm not okay with that. No, you know what? I'm not okay with that.
Clinging to my pigeon.
You can't face it. You're not gonna drive everyone's crazy.
Going onto someone's property and trying to destroy what is intended to be like a defensive device. It's supposed to protect the property in some cases from things like that, honestly. The fact that you casually walking by would take it so personally that you believe it is your job to destroy the camera is madness.
It depends. A lot of this depends on like where physically you are, the nature of that community and whatnot. Reasonable expectations of privacy, and I think reasonable expectations of privacy would be what governs this. You do not have the reasonable expectation of privacy if you're walking down the street,
a random sidewalk.
And there's this other thing where people think, well, I was in the right morally, so I can do X, Y, and Z. Well, if X, Y, and Z involves going onto someone else's property and damaging that other person's property, that doesn't put you in the right. That is an overreaction, and that is breaking the law. So she should have been arrested for that.